and get back to our tables. If you're still in the bathroom, it's okay. I gave you guys an extra minute or two. So I'm an extrovert, so I just use that time to just chat. And then that's why you guys got the extra couple minutes. I have to stop talking. Okay, so I am so excited to invite up our next speaker, and that is Dr. It's Mijin, right? Mijin? Let me say it the proper way, right? Mijin. I've been living in I've been Americanized in my pronunciation too much. Mijin. Yes, Dr. Mijin Park. She is a licensed clinical psychologist who provides psychological service for clients of all ages, and she is a graduate from the Chicago School of Psychology. Dr. Park is an expert in intergenerational conflict within multicultural families, which is so great. And Dr. Park performs psychological assessments for ADHD, executive functioning, and emotional dysregulation, among many other things that she does. And she particularly enjoys working with adolescents and providing their parents, that's us, with effective skills and strategies for fostering their children's growth. And in her spare time, which I feel like you probably don't have much spare time, she enjoys cooking, hiking, and gardening. And she is going to be talking today about how social media impacts the parent-child relationship. And then following that, we're going to have a Q&A session with Dr. Esther Park, which I'm going to introduce you to her later. But let's give a warm welcome and round of applause for Dr. Park.
Good morning. Glad to be here. Very glad to be here. All right, so I wanted to take advice from the doctor's song. First of all, thank you so much for your knowledge and wisdom that you shared with us earlier. And I want to take one advice from you. Let's experiment it. Before I, get into the talk that I prepared for you today. So let's experiment with something right now. So why don't we actually find a partner and just face each other? If your table is odd number, just 3 people is okay too. Don't be shy, it's just an experiment. Why not for us to take and practice and exercise right away after we learned, before we forget. Okay, I'm gonna give you maybe about 10 seconds because I found that 30 seconds is too long. 1 minute is torture, so I will give you only 10 seconds, okay? So face to each other, looking at each other's eyes, without say anything, okay? But with your mind and with the sincere heart, and exhibit it whatever you wanted it to tell them in a positive way. Since we are all parents here, you guys are doing an awesome job, but oftentimes we're blaming ourselves for what's happening in our family and our children. So why don't we tell each other without the word or any word, with the verbal or your facial expression, but with a sincere heart, you are doing great work. You are doing the best for your children. Please, looking at us, okay? I will count it. Only 10 seconds. Wow, thank you. I see a lot of you after 3 seconds and looking away, giggling, don't know what to do. This time, only 5 seconds. Okay? Yeah, one more. Only 5 seconds. We'll do the same heart. You are doing your best for your children, but with the touch. But not inappropriate way, okay? So maybe shoulder, maybe, right? If you are female to each other, it's okay, to grab their hands. You're doing great. So let's do that. 5 seconds. Good. Thank you. All right. Let me hear from you. What are you experiencing with those 10 and 5 seconds? Just shout it out what you experienced. Comfort? Okay. Compassion. Oh, love that. Warmth. Affirmation. No one say awkward. No one said weird. Anything else? Understanding. Empathy. Gratitude. That's what Dr. Song was talking about. Relationship. Right? It was only 10 seconds. But empathy, affirmation, comfort, compassion, and even being understood. You don't even know each other, or maybe you knew, but right? But even that 10 seconds and 5 seconds, what we are experiencing is the connections. So thank you again, Dr. Song. All right, I'm a clinical psychologist. So every day, more than half of my day, I'm working with the children, right? And maybe maybe another 30%, I'm working with the parents as well. So many of my slides today will be more of from my experience, what I'm learning from our children, and also what I'm understanding, what is missing. Okay? So Dr. Song already shared a lot of information there, what you needed to know about the social media, impact of social media, relationship about social media, outcome of the social media, risk of the social media, all that. So if you really wanted to understand about the social media, please revisit and then listen to her lecture one more time, okay? It is a very solid information. Maybe Dr. Google cannot give it to you, okay? Or maybe ChatGPT, maybe you can. Or you can ask Siri, all that, right? So, but I will review a couple of slides of what Dr. Song already shared, just briefly, in a more of a psychological matter. Okay, so the reason why I put the definition of a social media, again, Dr. Song already shared earlier on her slides, it actually originated with a very, very positive intention. Again, social means is a community. Social means about the relationship, right? So through the media, they wanted to have community and have a conversation and share the information with one another. But starting from around early 2000, social media became something else. Again, globally, it is a fantastic platform that we can communicate with. If my mom and my parents or my family lives still in Korea, I still communicate with them every day. I don't miss things because, I being with them. But when I'm with them, actually in person, it's just a different feelings, right? That what we are sharing together. So social media platform is actually created the distance a lot closer. And we share a lot more information. So it is a wonderful platform. But what had happened again, I will share a little bit more than what Dr. Song already shared. What happened was early 2000 is there's a quote unquote smart people who went to the Harvard University, Stanford University, all those people who are studied computer science developed this social media platform for their business and profit platform. So as soon as we are using this, look at this. Dr. Song also already shared this. All of us, adults, I didn't even include the children here on this graph. Not even globally, in United States, how many of our adults are using these platforms every day, every hours? It is actually, it is alerting and concerning. That's why probably we are all here today, right? So what was the fundamental, the drive those developers were using was, again, Las Vegas, right? Those are programmers in early 2000, now everywhere, that they borrowed the psychological, the impact that what they have in Vegas, that how people developed in Vegas, casino, gambles, right? But what is behind this program is dopamine, right? Then let's understand the dopamine. How can we get the dopamine? What does dopamine really impact on our brain? Probably most of you took some of the basic intro psychology in college or in high school. The behavioralist Skinner, B.F. Skinner's, he actually found how to manipulate and change and modify human behavior. What they call is a variable reward system, which is it doesn't schedule every 30 minutes or every hour that you are getting the reward, but it is very unpredictable, right? So that variable reward system will shape you to keep doing it because you don't know when you're gonna get it. Vegas gamble is the same thing. You don't know you may get it or not. So we are putting the money and then pull or whatever that, gamble. I don't know. I'm not a gambler. So, but that's the basic, the psychology behind how it connected to our desire to get the arousal or win the games, right? With that, they bring that system into our social media. So one of the psychologists, no, he's not a psychologist. The Robert Sapolsky, hope that I pronounced correctly, he's a professor of biology and neurology at Stanford University. He found out this phenomenon in the social media is magic of maybe. Again, going back to the dopamine, what we are misunderstanding about the dopamine is not you're gonna get the dopamine level when you get it. It is more of anticipation of getting it, right? So for example, okay, I wanna win $10,000. Maybe possibly I can get that when I go to Vegas. I don't like driving, but I will drive in case I will get it. Right, that anticipation will make me get into the car or book the ticket to go to Vegas. That is dopamine, how you're getting it. And that is motivating us and make us to think and make us to, decide what we wanted to do. You wanna go or not go, right? So the magic of a maybe is the same matter of what the B.F. Skinner was found. Variable reward system. That's exactly happening with social media. Again, it is not about the pleasure in itself at the moment, but anticipation. But what's happening here is this unpredictability when you're gonna get it is almost a 400% of dopamine. It's almost same as you're getting cocaine. This is the reason why it is alerting for psychologists and sociologists like Dr. Sang. Because the dopamine is pouring out when things are uncertain. Again, going back to that Skinner's, the founding. So then, this is exactly about the maybe, right? So I will just show you the loop. We download social media, whatever that social media that you are in. Once you are downloaded, you are already done. You lost the game. Right? You download it, as soon as you download it, you are not just looking at it. You wanted it to share, again, through the media, you want to share some information. You want to write about it. And posting about food that you are making, food that you are eating, vacation that you are going, and wanted it to brag about what you were doing and what you are enjoying. And then now, as soon as you're putting in action, again, I'm driving to Vegas, right? It's the same way now you're putting your action, posting, writing, and commenting it. What's happening after that? Now, magic of maybe is happening, waiting for it. But you don't know who's gonna respond to your comments and your post. You don't know when you're gonna get it. So what's happening? We keep looking at. You don't even have to go to the Vegas for 4 hours driving there. But constantly checking, am I getting it? Who responded? So that maybe waiting period, as soon as you're getting it, boom! Wow, somebody likes me. Somebody likes what I posted it. Now that dopaminergic system is in your brain is going high and high. So now we're going back again, looking for the notification. I'm not even talking about children here. You get it? Adults. So when we are having dining together and have a conversation together, even in our business meeting, everyone's phone is on the table. What does that mean? Keep flipping. Right? Because we don't know, am I getting it or not? And that reaction or that loop is affecting our brain in this way. So this stimulation of a dopamine or magic of maybe constantly happening and you're getting it. Feel good. Excited. But if we're not getting it, we're going down. But in life, in reality, how can we get this all the time in high? So when we are not getting that in our brain, what we're thinking is a bore. So when you think about it, your children every day, what are they saying? I'm bored. That's boring. Mom, you're so boring. You're talking about the same things over and over again. So they wanted to go back again and do that again. But interesting about that psychology and behavior, that what Skinner was found, is it will get the immediate arousal as soon as you're getting it, but at the same time, if over time, even if you are getting it or not getting it, you cannot resist or stop anymore. So a lot of children who are coming to my clinic, or in my session, I'm asking that, you're using your social media or YouTube that many hours. Is that fun? Everyone is saying, no, it's actually not fun anymore. Video game too. Then why are you doing it? I'm just doing it, I'm bored. What else can I do? right? What happened in behind the social media and psychology is we cannot stop anymore. Even if it doesn't give us the same pleasure anymore. This is the reason why it becomes addictive, an addiction. It's not that you wanted to get the same thing that what you got early on, that you don't get it, but you're still doing it. Then why this is this much of a concern for us when our children are bored, not interested, not even thinking about. So when parents are coming to my clinic, and first meeting what I have is with the parents, and they're saying, that, my children are always bored, they are not doing what they needed to do. And then later the children are telling me, okay, I got an A. My mom said she wanted an A, so I wanted to give her A. Okay, I want to give her A, so now, can I use it? What are we focusing on here? That what's happening in our children's brain development? We all want our children to be smart, intelligent, right? And that this is 100% of our parents are telling me, my kids are smart. They're not just doing what they needed to do. They're lazy, right? Let's just understand about intelligence in, again, clinical setting and psychological matter here. So let's look at this. So when we are testing our children with the IQ, we're dividing with the two categories. One is crystallized intelligence, another is fluid intelligence. Everything that our parents are focusing on every day, going to school, extracurriculum, getting A, all that. Now, somebody was telling me that 4.0 is not even enough anymore because everybody is getting 4.0. So now it's a 5 point something? I don't know how you get that, right? But what we are focusing on here is all about the crystallized intelligence. But statistically, and also neuroscience found it out, that crystallized intelligence is a lifespan growing intelligence. As long as you are going to school, as long as you're reading something, is more of a knowledge base, is informational base, that their intelligence will continue to grow. This is the reason why if you are approaching to your children what to do, how to get better, you already become a boring person. You know why? They know more than us. They can ask the Google, like all you do. Now is a ChatGPT is making a dissertation. They tested it, ChatGPT, passed the bar exam, board exam. It's smarter than that what we can learn about. But what we are doing every day talking with our children is increasing their crystallized intelligence. But we are not focusing on fluid intelligence. But what are the fluid intelligence then? Fluid intelligence is more of a day-to-day, how to live your life, how to engage with the people, how to appreciate the people. When you face the challenges, how can you overcome? When you fail in your exam, how can we grow more? Is the fluid intelligence. Not about hiring another tutor to adding it another schedule, and just because they needed to apply for the good school, that they needed to get in this and this and that. This is the reason why it's alerting and alarming to us. Because this fluid intelligence, okay, take a deep breath. I'm going to tell you something sad. This fluid intelligence, as you see in here in graph, it developed very, very rapidly between age 13 to 19. Again, neuroscientists also found it out that our brain, where we think, where we process the information, and also how we make decisions, this frontal lobe is developed latest up to age 26 and 28. After that, we're declining. Can you see that? This is the reason why you're slowing down. This is the reason why your children are so fast. This is the reason why our mom and dad doesn't know how to use the social media like the way you do and our children do. Because it's not about the crystallized intelligence. But what are we doing during this crucial time of their brain development that we are focusing on crystallized intelligence day and night? Did you do your homework? Did you do extra work? Did you study? Yes, mom. Okay, then you can use social media. The reward system we are giving them is very scheduled. Okay, if I'm done, I will give you. It's no more fun for them. The boredom that what I shared right before, this is the reason why it is alerting and alarming. During this crucial time that we are focusing on all that. Okay, then let's pause for a second. Pause for a second that what us and our parents and our children drive to continue to do those things. What are the needs that they are not getting it? And also Dr. Song touched base on this. Human needs. What will make human? Let's just pause and think about that. Are we talking about anything that what we believe is very important for our children? Rather than focusing on only academic, getting A, getting B, which school to go to. Let's think. How much time that we are spending our time to think about what are the needs that we are seeking through social media or even any devices that what we have. So let's talk about the brain a little bit. Okay? Again, Dr. Esther Park, who is a child psychiatrist, will come up, and any questions that are related to this, probably she can mention that too. So we also needed to understand our brain really well, right? But I'm not going to focus on the function and the entire parts of the brain here today. But what I just wanted to share, all things that what we just talked about, all these behavior issues, cognitive issues, and social issues are also formed in our brain, but specifically on this, the inner parts of the brain, while their brain outside is still developing, inner parts of the brain is continue to experience how they feel, what experience that they have, the meaning that they have with you every day. When they are young, okay, so our children's brain is shaping by experience. Their brain is constantly developing and shaping it the way they are interacting with you and interacting with our uncles and aunties at church, and how we are looking at their eyes, how we are communicating, interacting physically with them is shaping their brain. That now those meaning or understanding is storing in their memory. A very deep inner side of the brain is connected to right next to each other, emotional parts of the brain and the memory. So when children are coming to our clinic, if they are anxious, they are depressed, all that is related to actually how they remembers about their experience with everyone else in their lives. We cannot say that it is all positive or all negative, right? So that's the brain. So brain is developing, again, social media is very, very closely connected to, now we are keep doing it by doing it. Okay. However, my main talk today, hey, I'm a psychologist, so I have to look at your psyche. But we are not talking about a lot or spending a lot of time trying to understand about our mind and our heart. Bible is talking about it a lot. Guard your mind, guard your heart, renew and reform your minds, right? All that. So I just wanted to use one of the leading psychiatrists about the brain. So Dr. Daniel Siegel, he actually defined mind this way. Mind is emergent and self-organizing, embodied, and relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information. So our mind is forming as soon as, or maybe even within their mother's womb, that all the information that what they're experiencing is now creating their mind. So when our children are coming, I'm teaching the brain and mind a lot, right? So I'm showing the brain, so where's the mind? There's here. Mind is not in here. It's the brain, it's a physical, right? This biological activities is happening is in brain, but mind is more of over time. All through their experiences and knowledge, information they're gathering is flowing within. And now that is shared with you and everyone else. According to that, it's very subjective. This is the reason why when our children are coming to our clinic, right, they are saying that, oh yeah, I'm so lonely, I'm not good enough, all that. I'm asking parents, I don't understand why they are thinking that. I'm doing everything for my children. I'm telling them all the time, I love you, you are special, you are smart. I don't know why they are believing that. It is not about the words, you're just saying it. Like what we experimented earlier. It is over time that flowing information, interactions, all that form in their mind now is using it for themselves and for others. Yes, brain we have to treat. We have to understand. But what we really needed to understand is mind. And now, this is one of the shifts of my thinking and my career as well about heart. In psychology, we use interchangeably heart is emotion. So that's what we'll put it here, heart is emotion. But Tim Keller, Dr. Tim Keller defined our heart according to the biblical point of view in this way. The heart is not the seat of the emotions. It's the control center of your life. The things you commit to and trust in. It affects the mind, the will, and what you believe, as well as your emotions. Summarizing it with the one word, I would say it's the desire. It's a need. Whatever that you have in your heart, you think it's important. It will make a decision that what you wanted it to do. You will go after find to feel the heart. The biblical point of view about heart is not emotion. It's about your desire, what you put your trust in. Okay. these days, for some reason, a lot of our children, I'm asking, right, so, okay, so what do you want to do later? I just wanted to make a lot of money. Okay, so how are you thinking that you can make a lot of money? Maybe I can create a really exciting YouTube so I can have a lot of followers. So if I play more video game, I will be an expert so that I can be a video programmer or a video gamer. What's in their heart right now? Again, going back to that crystallized intelligence, what are we telling our children all the time, putting in their heart what will make them to be successful? What will make them meaningful? As a human desire that what we have, all these needs, we want to have a meaning and purpose. Okay, let me pause here too and then ask you. If you can answer, it will be great. But I know for sure none of you can answer this. What is meaning of your life? What is purpose of your life? What will make you who you are? What will make you satisfied consistently forever? What will give you freedom? What will make you be loved and share the love? And what is your hope? What hope that you're holding it? Oh, great. All right. That's my next slide. So, right? Let's just face the reality and be truthful to ourselves. We still couldn't find this. We don't know how to define this about our own life, meaning of a life. What makes you who you are? What will give you complete freedom, not seeking for the social approval constantly? We are teaching our children day to day that there's something out there, you can get it, will make you meaningful. When you get into the Ivy League school, you're set for your meaning of your life. You're already significant. You're very important. Your identity suddenly is based on your performance. Your meaning is all about what you do, what you get. True freedom that what you will get when you have a lot of money. You can have a good life if you have a lot of money going on many, many vacations every year. As if we are telling them what we didn't get, what we didn't find, or what we didn't find yet, that we are telling them to get it. That's why we're nervous, because you didn't even get it. You don't even know. But at the same time, what's happening through the social media? They are telling the same thing that what we are telling them, but we are boring. What we are telling them is boring things. But it's more exciting. It's better for them to listen 10, 15 minutes TED Talk than 1 hour of your lecture. It is very concise, precise, and accurate, and data-based. Yours not. What they're going to listen to? If we are approaching in the same way, talking to them, same thing, go get it. As if there's something will fulfill all these needs that what we need. It's a lie. Can we face this reality one more time? It's a lie. If you are successful getting this by doing something, achieving something, then please share with me, and I will rethink about it. Especially with the Asian community, we value on achievement a lot, because that's how we survived it as well when we immigrated here, working hard. Education is the only way you can go higher. It will make you somebody, people will respect you. I thought that's too. I thought that's the way to get it. So I studied again, But I came and graduating, so what? But we are telling the same thing to our children every day. And when our children say, Mom, I did everything what I needed to do. Okay, Mom doesn't know what to say anymore after that. But we are worried and concerning about what's going to happen to them. Because we don't know other than telling them what to do. Wake up early. Do the time management. Use your planner. I'm doing that too, with some of the students in my clinic. But I found that more and more, it is very short term. And very brief moment, they will get it, but they cannot handle the quietness and boredom. Then let's speak about the truth. What is truth that we are missing here? Not about the lies. What this society and this culture are leading us. We have to understand the flow of the culture, where this all movement is heading toward. If we are getting into it, we cannot see it, because now we have to swim with them. But we don't even have enough time to figure it out and fix the situation anymore, because even research is behind of what's happening right now. So this phenomenon is crazy, so I wanted to study it and research about it, and things already happened. My study is already outdated. We are still swimming together with this culture, but what separated us from all these entire things is actually in the Bible. The truth is, the true meaning, you cannot go after to find it. Identity, you cannot achieve by your performance and hard work that you do that make you who you are. I'm a psychologist, that's what I'm doing, but that's not who I am. What makes who I am is not what I'm doing. The true freedom, it is not because I have unlimited things in my life that will give me true freedom. The true love is you cannot go after and also love yourself. This culture and society is telling us, love yourself. Know your value. But how? So what Bible is talking about in Christian faith, what we believe, that truth is telling us throughout the generations and history that your meaning and purpose, your identity, who you are, true freedom that what you can get, true love that what you can receive and give, and true hope that you can have is received by love of Jesus. You believe in him and receive what he has done to give you right to become a child of God. Your identity is started from there. You are already accepted, loved. Your meaning is given to you already being a Christian, believing in a Jesus. Then we are experiencing of that growth. That's the truth. This is the truth that what we are missing. But before we are going back to the social media, how that is impact on our relationship and all that, we needed to pause and think, am I believing that? Is that truth truly set me free? That it is not an approval that I needed to continue to seek after. Jesus died for us. He let it go, everything that what he had to have a relationship with us. Can we find peace in that? can we have a meaning in that God will do greater things? Then I want to talk about that with my children. Believe it or not, in my session, that's what I'm talking about. My executive function training for them is this. Don't look for something will fulfill that you will fail. This is not only the Christian faith and Christian beliefs. This is human conditions. Nothing will fulfill all your needs if you are going after outer, external things. You will be bored. So many parents, oh, I get that. And Christians, oh, okay, I get that. So tell me what to do again. So can you fix my children? You're too expensive, so I cannot continue. Can you just be short and one session and then just do that and fix my children? We're focusing on constantly, like everyone else is doing outside, in mechanical changes, outer. Okay, my child maybe is not satisfied. Okay, let's upgrade your phone. Let's give them the better computer. Let's give them that, giving them a good car or all that. But again, going back, the human conditions, nothing can meet their needs consistently and permanently. It's very brief and momentary. We all experience that, right? I love car. So I'm getting very easily tired with the car that I'm getting it. So once I get it, I'm washing it and wiping it and all that. But does it last long? I don't even wash until I take it to the dealer and they're washing for me. This mechanical changes is all about the outer, what to do, how to do. Even if we are changing it, shifting it, fixing and cutting it, try to change their behavior, we're not going to last long. But we are also looking for immediate changes. Something to be immediate. We cannot wait. But again, going back to the biblical point of view, the fruits of the Spirit. We all love that, right? We all have that character. But why even the Bible is using that analogy, fruits? Think about that. It is not immediate right away you can fix it. But it is more of slow growth, process of growth. It's like we are planting the seed in them and nurturing them. Be interested in them, what it is about. The seed that God already planted it in their heart that we are curious to discover about. But with the firm and secure message that we can send, you're okay. Instead of constantly looking at outside again, how to and what to. Many parents don't like this answer. It will take time. If you wanted it to approach when they become 17 and 18 and 19, right? We have to repair all the things that we couldn't do earlier when the roots were already going in and grounded. And then now they are seeking something outside that what other people are telling them who they are. What's the meaning and purpose, the freedom that they needed to get. So I wanted to encourage to see this together, focusing on ourselves, that how we become who we are. It is not that you went out to get that. Jesus came to you. And that with that, love, freedom, meaning, love, and ultimately eternal hope will make us to continue that what we needed to do. I wanted to conclude with the final. We are saved by grace, not by a changed life. But grace always changes life. We needed to apply this in our parenting. How can we change and help our children to grow, to be who they are meant to be? Is unending grace and love, which only can be found in Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Park. Stay up here because you're going to do Q&A. We have these fancy chairs for you guys. And Dr. Esther Park, if you could make your way up here as well. Do we have a handheld mic that we could get for Dr. Park? Oh, they're going to just share. Sharing is always good. That's very godlike. You can sit there. You guys don't know that I work as a comedian part-time, right? I'm just kidding. I don't. I just tell jokes to my kid and she never laughs. I wanted to just really quickly introduce Dr. Esther Park to you. She is a board-certified child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist, and her undergraduate studies were completed at UCLA. She trained to be a physician at Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine, and during the first year of her family medicine residency training, she realized that she was actually really called to the mental health field. Thank goodness that she recognized that call, because now she is here with us. She completed her psychiatric training at the LAC USC Medical Center and has more than 17 years of outpatient clinical experience treating children and adults. So if we could just give a warm welcome to Dr. Esther Park. Thanks. Did you want to say any comments before we kind of dive into some questions?
We'll just dive into the questions.
Let's dive into questions. Okay, I still have some hanging from the last one, but could we get the slide up? Because I forgot the number already. Yes. Please submit your questions to slido.com. 204-3963. Okay, I'm going to stand over here so that I'm not turning my back on anyone. And now I look like Alex Trebek on Jeopardy. That was my aim. All right. This was a question that I really actually wanted to save for you both because you guys are clinicians. And actually, Dr. Mijin, you talked a lot about the brain and addiction and social media and gambling, and I was like, oh, wow. I get that. I get that thrill of not being sure if you're going to win 10,000 coins or none, right? So I get the same feel for social media. So this question was, how should we deal with online gaming addiction? And I feel like gaming addiction can be from anything from video games all the way to like even, gambling online as well.
So the question is, the addiction's already there?
Yes. How about let's start with that,
Okay.
and then if you guys want to add a little bit more in about maybe even like how we can kind of prevent ourselves from getting to that point where we are addicted.
I'll answer the first part. You can answer the second one. I'm a huge encourager of receiving evaluations. If someone is already at that level where you can't control by just guidance and encouragement, and the more you try to enforce rules and restrictions and cutting off Wi-Fi, and they will find another way, right? The addiction is already there, and it's a moment of humility to find help. And it will be a faster journey if you do so, because something else is going on in their life that led them all the way to that point. So getting evaluation from a clinician, psychologist, LMFT, psychiatrist does not mean you have a mental issue and your family is messed up. But if there is a problem earlier in their life, in their teen years, it's, you would, if you even have a simple cold and it's not going away, you would go to a pediatrician. I would advise to do so if the behavioral addiction is already there. So that's one of my first advices. Then you might discover in that evaluation what is really going on. And so there's so many different variety of possibilities that time won't permit me to share all that. So I know that sounds like a simple answer. Please go get help. Come to Fully Health, Oak Hill Center, or any other place. But to be honest, that is the fastest way. And whatever I say here can't apply to everybody anyways right now. So I just feel like in the United States, the stigma has been going down a little bit slower in the Asian American community. But please don't wait till it gets really, really horrible. And then the child is in their room 10 hours a day and they're not even coming out to eat. Right, so.
Did you want to add anything to that?
Yes, when we are looking at the neuroscience and biology, right, and brain and body, we really needed to treat like one of the organs. So a lot of our children are coming later age, discovering it is a part of the ADHD that they are constantly distracted, right? They are constantly distracted by something else is raising their dopamine level. And then why that happened, that we're not questioning. And then just over the time, it became a part of the behavior now is they cannot even stop. Like what we were just talking about this. So if it is more of a neurological and then biology and brain issues, we really needed to treat that. It's because more of electric, the circuit, action fires are happening. So more they are doing that, the pathways are already created it, right? But what we needed to actually share in a psychological level is what actually they're getting out of by doing that. Some students are saying they are thinking about their rejection from their friends are so painful that they don't want to think anymore. So it is better for them to looking at or playing video game because they don't have to think. So I think we needed to go a little bit more in deeper. Again, Dr. Sung already mentioned that relationship and conversation, but asking about not what to do and not to do. Again, if you're approaching that way, you don't get far in a conversation. And asking about why, then we can understand a little bit more what's going on internally, them not to feel good about themselves, that they needed to forget about what. What are the things that why so bored for them, right? So,
thanks. Okay, so this, I don't know why I feel like this question might be a little controversial, but maybe it is because I don't know. Parents have been kind of arguing about this a lot, but if you're thinking about habits, right, and setting up good habits, what, is giving my toddler a tablet in order to quiet them down a bad idea? Because sometimes, I'll be honest, I mean, if I'm out to dinner and I put on my YouTube for kids and it keeps them quiet so that I can have dinner without, I don't know, them on top of me, I don't know, I'm like, sure. But can you talk to me a little bit about that and why might that be okay, but why might that also maybe not be so okay? I'm going to put it like that because if you do that, I don't judge you. Yeah. They don't judge you.
Let's go back to that brain development again. Our children, their relationship, what they have, either it is through the device or from you, is shaping their brain already. The excitement, what they're getting without the language. They don't understand exactly what that is, but something is giving them excited and feel good about it at the moment. right? When I grew up, my mom, what is that called? Abuba? Piggyback? I didn't have a device when I was young. My mom was busy, but my mom even didn't have the phone or devices to give it to me. I was just sitting there and looking at my mom. What is she doing? I don't know exactly what it was, but my mom was doing something. I was just sitting there. Why not? But I'm looking at referencing my mom, that my mom is doing something. I'm learning that social engagement, that my mom is doing something that my mom wants me to sit here.
Yeah, I mean, so do you think part of that is because, and I don't know if parenting is still, because I have a 13-year-old, I just remember when my kid was a toddler, it was like, you got to keep them busy like 24/7. And I just remember my mom and my grandma, when I was raised, I don't remember that stress on them for them to entertain me 24/7. Whereas I felt like as a parent, if I wasn't entertaining my 2-year-old like every second of the day, that somehow her brain development was just not going to happen and she was never going to get into Harvard. So, you know, that's what everyone was saying. So I just said, I was like, okay, but I, as a human being, we literally cannot entertain each other 24/7. So like, I wonder if some of that is part of that. There's this pressure as parents today that we somehow have to, you know, do this for their well-being.
Right. Again, that is an excellent point, and then pause to think about that. Why do we have to entertain our children all the time? Our children, when they are, again, when they're infants and toddlers, when they're alone, they will actually figure it out what they needed to do.
Yeah.
But our pressure and our anxiety, if I don't do something, it will screw our child's brain. Again, going back to my performance, right? I gotta do something, I gotta engage. Now, if they have a little bit of a free time, now we need to fill in something, and now they learned by that behavior that my mom did, constantly fill me in something. So me doing nothing is not right. Why do we have to entertain our children when their brain is developing? Their brain is actually creating it what to do, how to be, entertain themselves. God created our brain very, very unique and fascinated way that you don't have to get involved. It's a little bit different from the animal species, right? But somehow our humans are so dependent on our parents and one another to develop and learn something about it. But we are filling their hours and times, something that make them to be excited, interested in.
Yeah, did you want to add to that, Dr. Park?
So long ago, do you guys remember restaurants were giving something to color, and then there were crayons, and they were saying, oh, we know your child is going to be impatient while you're eating, right? So it kind of started off with that, and then now the iPad came out, and the phone, and even phone stands so that you can watch. So it's unfortunate. It's a yes and no, I'm going to say. The reason why it's a problem with toddlers is teaching them, or not teaching them, delayed gratification. The instant gratification, and now they learned, all I have to do is have a tantrum, and I'm going to get that phone, I'm going to get that iPad. And I remember before the iPad, I saw my friend, we're driving somewhere, and her toddler is sitting in the back seat, and this is like there's no TV in the van kind of thing too. She's crying, and I'm okay with that because that's how you train them to like have that extinction of that. Immediately while she's driving, she has a lollipop ready, and sticks it in her mouth, and she calms down. What did that toddler just learn? All I have to do is cry, and I'm going to get my sweets, right? And so that reinforcement, that's called a positive reinforcement, by the way. Positive means it will increase the behavior after that reinforcement is given. So, but we don't know what else to do, right? And so time doesn't permit to share like what to do therefore. So you're gonna have to make an appointment. Or come to more of these kind of seminars, because a lot of the seminars coming up, like there's so much to talk about, right? Yeah. And that's why these Q&As are really great, because of all the hands-on. But we just want to give you some general concepts today.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, that is so true. So make an appointment. They'll give you all the answers. It may take a couple years, but they got to make a living too. Okay. No, I am a number one proponent. My kid's in therapy, and my therapist is my her therapist is my favorite person. I literally talk to them and text them, and and they're probably like, we have boundaries. So anyway. Okay, here's a really interesting question. What will be the bad consequences, or just consequences in general, both in psychological and maybe the emotional aspect, when kids get hooked with their devices and maybe it gets out of control? How would you answer that?
Yeah, that's kind of similar to the first one, where it can become an addiction, and the dopaminergic activation that's required, it requires more the following time and the following time. So that's why the makers of the apps know they have to have novel and new ways. So Facebook, I started to see what they were doing. At first it was just the thumb, and then it's the heart, and then it's the emojis, and then they're reels, and then like you can't even keep up anymore, because that's how they need to stay in business, I guess, right? And to keep on increasing their revenue. So I lost a little bit track of the question a little bit. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I already knew that our all questions will be what to do, how to do. Anyway, I experience this everywhere we go, and that's why I focus on the more of a why during our talk. Let's just think about it this way, how our children's behavior is developing. So for when we are teaching our children in our clinic, so looking at the 4 things that what motivated them to do, continue to do, especially inappropriate or misbehavior, okay? Write it down. You don't have to pay today, so write it down. But if you come to my
free
office,
session, you guys, write it down.
Right. If you come to my office, I say the same thing, but you pay. Okay. First things, our children are doing the same thing, even if it is inappropriate. First things, they want to get attention. Either it is a positive and negative, they wanted to do it in order for them to get your attention. Okay. If they're doing something misbehavior and inappropriate, you're yelling, it is attention. Right? So now then they will continue to do it, making you yell. Right? So that's number 1. Second one is a power struggle. We all mankind wanted to have a power. So if you're using your power, adult, parents, resource, and all that, you are using your power, try to change their behavior, they will use their power to you too. How? Not doing it. Make you frustrated. They will use their power, make you, again, right, getting into the nerves. They will use their power. I know you are losing it all the time. Right? That's why you are yelling at them, screaming at them, and take away the devices as a power. Then now they will do the same thing to you in their way. Third one, revenge. Whatever the form, and that's the more of the psychological part that we are going through with our children by talking, but you may not know, but in their own point of view, again, the mind developing, right? The way they're receiving from all the experience that they have, information that they have, they're hurt. When you are taking away their devices, they're hurt because you are taking away something that makes them feel good. And then you are yelling at them, and almost you are disrespecting and dehumanize them. And they're hurt. You are using your verbal, violating them, and now they're hurt. Now what they're going to do? They will do the same thing to you. I hate you, Mom. You are worst mom ever. Kicking, punching, throwing is a revenge behavior. Lastly is displaying inadequacy. Our children say, I don't know how to do it. Mom, you do it. Can you help to do it? But you know they can do it. But always the way mom doing it, the way dad is doing it is better than what they're doing it. Outcome is always better. It seems like our mom and dad are hero to them. So they'd rather not to do it because if they don't do it, outcomes are better. Because mom and dad are more satisfied. So they rather display the inadequacy. So we are using the consequences according to this, but understanding well about where those are coming from. If it is attention, rather than yelling and throwing things or using your power, all that, we have to give appropriate way for them to gain attention. Or rather than praise by outcome that what they're getting it, encouraging them what they process that what they're putting in. When you're really looking at the word, the root word of courage, discourage, encourage, the courage. What does that courage mean? They're having courage, braveness, confidence that they can continue to do that. We're not encouraging enough that what they're doing and putting in effort, but we are praising the outcome of what they're getting it. Then you're good. That's it. So they're focusing on, again, only to get what they needed to get, but lost building the character, how to persevere, how to be patient, how to care for one another, how to respect for one another. So in order for you to understand the consequences, or rather than the reward or praise, focusing on the encouragements, but understand those four categories, what my child or what they are exhibiting day to day in their behavior.
I hope you all wrote that down. And can I get a copy? I wanted to actually ask a follow-up question to the question that we were kind of talking about before about toddlers, but this was great because I think this gave us, the reasons why, a toddler might react the way, or even a 13-year-old might react the way that they do. So how does over-reliance on giving our kids devices when we're busy impact the parent-child relationship?
One more time.
How does over-reliance on giving our kids devices when we're busy impact the parent-child relationship?
So the question is over-reliance. Somebody's already admitting they're over-relying on it. And a creativity of using something else or having them be able to create of how to use their time. And the talk earlier was about the time, quiet time seems to be like boredom, but it's actually an impetus to think and be creative and to self-reflect, right, that phrase. And we don't know what to do with our boredom, and we modeled that actually, right, with our usage. And I'm very guilty. Not really guilty because I don't have kids, so I'm like not really feeling guilty, but I am guilty of I can't wait in a grocery line anymore, like without pulling it out, you know. Let me catch up on a text, you know, things like that. And so I wonder how much our reliance of using the phone during boredom, it is a model. It is a model. And so if a child is with you in the car, I remember I only have like 2 hours every other week with my nephew. And so it became a very valuable moment. I do not allow us to do a video game together. As soon as he gets into my car, I pick him up from school, I start asking lots of questions. And I didn't realize how talkative he really is. And if you have appropriate, age-appropriate, developmental-appropriate questions, they are going to talk to you, right? And they will be interested in telling you. But the genuinity has to be there on your end of being interested in them. So how do you do that with a toddler? You still can. They are hearing your questions, even though they can't speak back. But the way I did it when he was 2 years old was like, do you want to play with this game or do you want to do the happy birthday game? And then we're interacting and without any devices.
Over-reliance or in any forms of a devices is a relationship because they are not engaged with the object of a phone or device. It's the contents that what they are connected to. Their emotion is connected to what they're watching. Their thoughts, that information process are connected to what they are engaged with. More they are engaged and emotionally and memory, that what they are attached to, they are detached from you. More they are engaged, they're engaged the person in it. Cartoon characters in it. And they feel the emotion and connections. That as soon as they are holding it, again, remember that, it's not about the device itself, the contents of what they are engaged with, that you are disconnected. So culturally, we cannot leave. And Dr. Song mentioned that a lot, and Phil is talking about that a lot. We cannot live without it anymore. But the one way we can engage again and connect it again, and tell me about what are you watching? What trend are you seeing these days? What are the girls are valued these days? And what are you feeling about it? Yeah, right? Things are what they're getting. I will just use one example. Was a 14 years old girl that I was working with, and again, very heavily involved with this social media and day and night, right? And took 1 or 2 hours to get ready in the morning because her appearance has to be perfect before she leaves the house. And all that things that happen, and then mom used the power, take away phone. And she attempted suicide. So, again, but before all this happened, and we already prepared something gonna have a drastic things happen. So she went to the emergency, and 911 came and all that, right? And then as soon as the mom saw the child, and as soon as she opened her eyes, oh, mom, not like that. Where's my phone? Yeah, where's my phone? As soon as she opened her eyes, after many hours, where's my phone? And then after all that, thankfully she has a good relationship with me and coming back to me, and we're talking about it. And then what was it about to make you tempt? And that is my mom took away my friends. My mom took away all about me who's in it. As soon as I lost my phone, I lost me. As soon as I lost my phone, I lost my friends. There's no way that I can connect. The phone is not a device itself that they have a relationship with. more they're doing it, we're losing our connection and relationship with our children.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I just had a light bulb moment of why I feel so close to BTS. Because I love them, and I really feel like one day I'm going to meet them face to face. And I think it's really because I'm always on their Instagram channels. Thank you. But that's what it's like for our kids, right? And so can you imagine taking that away from them and exercising that kind of power over them? That could be a really traumatic event. So, okay. We have just a couple questions that I'm not going to get through all of them, but I just really quickly just wanted a few thoughts, like super quick thoughts about using technology as a reward punishment, because parents do this all the time. It's like, if you have good behavior, you get like 10 more minutes of screen time. If you have bad behavior, we're going to take away your screen time. Can you just give like 2-second thoughts on that? I know that's hard.
It's going to be a case by case for that one too. And as you can see, our theme is relationship, right? Because if that is the ultimate reward and nothing else, I mean, if it's going to be our temporary solution, then, what could I say? But we are trying to help, our community to think a little bit beyond that, right? The mechanical change versus the organic change, how long it will take to really shape that reward systems. So that's why I say it's case by case of what to do about that, and to have conversations of shifting that reward not to be that extra 10 minutes. So before even all the cell phone, as a younger child psychiatrist, I used to share with parents, don't give them sweets. Don't say you can have a dessert if you finish your dinner. Then the dessert became more important or more valued than the dinner or the vegetables. So now it's screen time, right? We're doing the same thing.
Okay, let's be smart. Are we ready to be smart?
Yeah.
Do it briefly? Okay, then I have to be quick. Same concept. Okay, this will perfectly. We wanted to change their behavior, isn't it? Right? We want them to be a better person and know how to control. Yeah? We all agree? Okay. Doing the same thing that what social media is doing. What is that? Variable reward. Doing it, you're getting that, will never work. This is the reason why our children is coming to my session and says, I don't care. In the moment, they will be excited because they're getting it. But now they know, after I'm done, I'm getting this. No interest. Psychologically, brain, or neurologically, internally, that doesn't work. Right? Using the variable reward system, what does that mean? They don't know when to get. They don't know who to get. Which means, as a more of a you notice that what they do. Because their behavior is not all structured and scheduled. Which means that things are what they do, wow, so-and-so, I noticed that that's something that you are doing it, how great. That you are helping your sister on that. Oh, dopamine is increasing it. Right, before even they're asking, not set the schedule, you are already lost it. Do it same way that what casino and Las Vegas are doing, what social medias are doing. You can change your children's behavior immediately, persistently. Again, that variable reward system is once they get it, because they don't know when to get it, even if they don't get it, they will continue to do it over time. And that is organic changes. But what we are not doing it is noticing something that what's happening every minute and second. Be smart at using a variable reward system.
I am going to implement that immediately.
Yes.
Yes, like immediately. I'm going to call
Good
my
job
kid.
that you're noticing and giving a feedback right away.
Yeah, do you see that? That was awesome. No, seriously, that is like a huge takeaway, along with the monotasking.
We are adults, but still we like when our mom and dad are giving us some comments.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Mijin, you're a wonderful daughter. Sometimes make me smile when I think about you. Oh, mom, what did I do? I don't know. Right? But we are still getting that not scheduled. That interval is not correct, but getting it here and there, and that motivates me to continue to do it, even if I don't get it. It's the same thing to you, same thing to your children. Don't try to fight against the social media app, the system. You will lose it. But our fight is not that system, that how you're gonna get against it. Again, you will lose it. Again, our research is behind, everything is behind. Your children is growing every day. Every day, what you respond, whatever that is, whoever is giving that, noticing that things are happening and growing in that process is what motivates them to continue and be a good person that who you want them to be. It's a character building. They have to receive it, not to get it.
I want to talk about a relationship. My parents, I experienced growing up feeling their love. So it was a little bit atypical, I guess. My dad was one to show affection and hug me a lot and kiss me a lot and actually say I love you. And I know many of my Asian American friends did not get to grow up with that. But I remember they gave me the sense of they trusted me. But they started it off with grace and love. And then internally, as my frontal lobe was developing, judgment develops, thinking about future consequences, those develop. And I had a lot of freedom when I went to college. And so I remember in the back of my mind, wow, this would not please mom and dad if I did that. Suddenly, even the subconscious approval or the continuous love and grace was important to me. And so what I want to emphasize is right now, many of us, our parents are not around and we did not get that, growing up. But we have our Heavenly Father who loves us so unconditionally, always. And He's always with us, not with a rod in His hand about to punish, but the sense of Emmanuel. He's always with me, always loving me. And so what is my motivation with whatever I'm doing with my family, career, and personal life? And that experience of I am so loved by God, it motivates me to want to please Him because His grace and love is motivating me. That modeling of faith, right, and expressing that and teaching children about Jesus loving them and having a personal relationship with them is going to be the internal driving factor of what they do and how they do and when they do. A lot of the how-to mechanical, this is what you should do, that's not going to last into their college years. So that's why a lot of times when we see so many fractured family relationships, even in Christian families right now. And I think it started off with, personally as an adult, if they're not enjoying Christ and the gospel love for themselves, which is the case a lot right now, right? How can they exhibit that in the home and express that? So sometimes we're always saying, wait, let's focus on you. And they're just in a hurry to have us fix their kid. But that's kind of where the foundation has to lie.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so true. We really, it's a slow process, and there is no quick fix to relationship. And God has that relationship with us. And as we extend that relationship to those, whether it's our kids or other people around us, relationship takes time. So thank you for saying that. I know that there was a whole bunch of other questions, and we're running out of time. And I don't know. I don't like people to get hangry, and it's lunchtime, So I'm going to wrap things up a little bit, but I would really urge you and encourage you to use our lunchtime to not only talk with each other about kind of the takeaways that you've gotten, but to use that time to also come and speak with and talk to and ask your questions to our speakers. They are, I didn't even ask them this, but I'm going to just say this. I'm going to assume they are more than happy to answer your questions for free today until 1 p.m. So be bold. Go ask your questions. And they're all good questions, so please use that time to do that. Otherwise, book an appointment with them. I just want to really thank Dr. Song as well as both of our Dr. Parks who are up here today for speaking. I've just learned so much. Thank you so much for being here. And, one of the beautiful things about AACC is that I get to do things like this, and we get to do things like this, but we are a volunteer-run organization, and we rely on people like you and your kids and the people that you know. And, yes, I am going to ask you for money right now because I need it. AACC really runs purely on donations, so would you please consider donating to AACC? You could do it on our website. Don't give me checks. I will not take them. Don't give me cash, but I'll take the cash. But you can actually scan the QR code. There's QR codes at your tables, and there is a link to donate. So I would love that, and I would really appreciate that a lot. And it would be really helpful to us. I also wanted to just let you know that we have some resources that were curated for parenting in a digital age, and it's on these little bookmarks, and some of you have them on your table, and if it's not on your table, we're going to have them at the little booth after this. But if you just scan that QR code, it'll take you to a page, and it has links to all sorts of stuff, including some technology that's out there to help you monitor your kids' app usage and social media and internet usage in general. So please take a look at that. And now I'm going to ask you to do something else. So this is part one of a 3-part series of our parenting conference. And so we're going to have another one next month on April 15th. And this time we're going to be talking about mental health and the well-being of children and teens. And then our final one will be on May 20th, parenting in the age of increasing harm and violence. So the registration is now open for that next one. And I'm telling you, man, this was so amazing. The next one is going to be even more amazing. You do not want to miss it. So go to that QR code on the back of your programs and sign up right now. And then what I would love for you to do is think of 2 other people that you can invite to come with you to this, that you're just you know what, this is going to be a great conference for them, and make it like a fun parent morning. Right? Because how often do you get that? Just do it. You need a babysitter? I'll come babysit. I'll fly out here. Yeah, I'll babysit your kids. So please do that. So sign up. You think I'm joking, but I'm serious. That's how much I believe in this. So yeah, sign up for that April 15th. You don't want to miss it. We have some great speakers lined up. Also on your tables, you'll see that we have these things that look like checkbooks, I realize. There's no checks in them, but it's a notebook, and we have pens. Please take them. They're for you. And I just want you to also know that there's a little room that's kind of a little bit off to the side over here on the right side, and there's going to be a bunch of booths there. So you can find out a little bit more about Crossroads, but not Dr. Song's going to have her books out there, and you can buy the books, which is great, and maybe she'll sign it. Will you sign them? Oh, you guys, author signing happening. So make sure you go and buy her book and get it signed by the author herself. I mean, that's really rare. So seriously, do it. And then Oak Health, where both Dr. Parks are part of, they're going to have a little booth there and find out all about them. I'm really excited about them because they have an integrated approach to psychology and psychiatry, which is faith-based, and that's amazing, and that's really hard to find. So get connected with them there. And of course, AACC with our fancy schmancy little tablecloth is going to be there too. You can get cool hologram stickers for your kids that they could put on their water bottle. And they're like, Mom, Dad, what is this AACC? And then you can tell them all about us. But so there's swag, meet the speakers there, but you can go and grab your lunch you can eat here, and then make sure you just stop by there for that. I want to invite up Pastor Randy. Where is Pastor Randy? Oh, there you are. Pastor Randy, would you please come up here and close us out? Thank you. Can you guys just give him an applause? Yeah. Thank you, Pastor Randy.
Thank you so much, Phyllis. I've had such a wonderful time here today, and I've been in such anticipation from the moment that this went on our calendar. It is an honor for our church to host AACC here to talk about these important things. And I have all kinds of thoughts and things that I just want to continue to process and talk about with Jill, my wife over there, as well as anybody who will listen to me. I hope you do too, and hopefully we'll be able to continue some of that during our lunchtime together. So I am so pleased also to be a part of this community of Christ followers here at Crossroads. And we were really, really glad, but there are some really beautiful people that I get to be with on an ongoing basis, week to week, and sometimes more. So would you please allow me a moment to thank some folks? And I'm not going to be able to mention everybody's name because there are a lot of people who pitched in to set this table for us and be able to do this. But back there in the audio-visual booth, we have Mark Chang and his super crew of Kathleen and Allie, who made everything look great. And everything sounded great because Paul Okada is back there running our audio, so we're thankful for those guys. Our food, as is often the case here at our community, so if you're visiting Crossroads Church today and you're enjoying the table that John and Shirley Hahn have set for us, we get to have that food all the time. They always make sure we don't go hungry, and it's always really, really good. So thank you, John and Shirley, for that. All the facility things, all the furniture that got moved, the chairs over there that are going to be put back here before we come to worship here tomorrow, that was headed up, not exclusively done by, but headed up by Eric Kaneshiro and his wife Lucy. So Eric, thank you so much for making a space for us. Stacy Chan was out there bossing us around to set up all the booths to make it super pretty inside our little I don't know what to call it, our booth fair on display over there. So make sure you go over to that next room and visit a little bit. And she also took care of all the registration for us. And finally, the mastermind behind all of this, the one who actually, I didn't know that AACC existed until my friend Kathy Rim brought them to our attention. So thank you so much, Kathy. I don't want to say Kathy made all this happen, but sometimes it felt like she made us all make this happen. So thank you so much, Kathy. And finally, the most important people that I want to thank are you. I can safely say that we could not have done this without you. It would have been really weird. But it speaks to me that you are using your hours on Saturday morning to love your kids. And I hope that you also heard, like I did, both Dr. Felicia, Dr. Mijin, Dr. Esther, all were pointing us to a connectivity, a relationship with Jesus that would lead us into some wholeness in how we relate to each other and to our kids. And so I'm really, really thankful that they said that. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to close. Pastor Kev started our time with some words from Jesus, and so I'm going to close our time with some words from Jesus, and then I'm going to give thanks for this delicious food. You guys have been so great to wait an extra 15 minutes. So we should go eat as soon as possible. But I am touched by these words of Jesus, and I hope that it would be relevant to you as you listen, because he said to a bunch of people who are like us, facing daily life problems, he said, so do not worry about your life, what you'll eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. And of course, to those people, those were very basic, fundamental needs. And for us, we can just, in this age, know that he's saying, don't worry about anything. If you're not going to worry about that, don't worry. Because people who know nothing about God chase after all these things. And this is the beautiful part. And your heavenly Father knows that you need them. I hope that you can hear that message, that your heavenly Father knows what you need. So maybe we didn't get to all the practical things, but your Father knows. And then he said, but seek first the kingdom and all the goodness that flows. He called it righteousness. The goodness that flows coming under the direction and leadership of Jesus as King of the kingdom. And all of those other things will be added to you as well. Let me pray. Lord Jesus, we thank you for these reassuring words as we want to step out and help our kids become whole, righteous people under your direction and leadership. Thank you so much for a meal that we get to share today, and for this time to really soak and dwell in these really important words and really, really good teaching. Bless our teachers, Lord Jesus. Reward them for how they've shared with us, and let us continue our time in fellowship with you. In your precious name, Lord Jesus, amen. Please, I don't know exactly the best way, Phyllis, to dismiss for lunch, but just be kind to one another out there. Okay. Have a great day.